Alright, what's up? So, I have a battle, some UU with my dank stall team, against some guy. Let's go. So, he leads off with Crobat, and I lead off with Snorlax. He goes for the taunt, and I go for the return, trying to kill it. Does a lot, but it doesn't kill. And then he switches out and goes into this Chestnut, and I return that, does a decent amount of damage. And I'm just like, well, this isn't going to be good. So I switch into Sly. And he leech seeds me, which fucking sucks. And he gets health from that shit. And he switches, goes into Suit and Tie as I go for a Toxic, which fucking fails, which is bullshit. Then he gets leech seed health, switches out. I switch out, go into Sly. He substitutes, and I'm like, well, this is fucking great. And he scalds me, doesn't burn, thank God. Go for the Earthquake, and gets rid of the sub, and he switches into this fucking stupid ass thing. And I go into Sly, and he U-turns me, which is an ass load of damage. And then he goes into this thing, and I'm like, well, that's just fucking awful. And then he Megas, and he goes for the Swords Dance. And I Scald, and get the fucking burn. Thank God. And he gets hurt by the burn. And then he Sucker Punches me. He doesn't do shit because I'm fucking Sly. And I kill him with a crit, which would have been fucking radical earlier. But then he goes into Chestnut, and I go for the Protect to get some leftovers as he Shadow Claws. I'm like, what? So then, he switches out and goes into that. I switch out, get my Regenerator, go into this, and he goes to the sub as I go for the Wish, because I think he was going to Flash Cannon me. He doesn't. Then I switch into Snorlax, predicting a whatever, and then I get the Wish, which is kind of cool. So then he Scalds me and gets the fucking burn, and I'm like, well, this is horse shit. And I break the sub still, though, and he switches into this again. I switch out, go into Sly, and at this part, I believe I go for the Aromatherapy as he switches into that, and I get the burn off my Snorlax. And then I go into Snorlax, and he goes for the Substitute, and gets his stupid-ass Pitaya Berry, and goes to Scald, and does an assload of damage, and I'm Assault Vest with special defense, and it kills me with a fucking Scald, and I'm like, that's horse shit! Then I go into Franklin the Turtle, and he switches into Quad Shot as I go for the Aura Sphere, and it actually does a lot of damage, and I switch into Sly, the Florges, and he Bug Buzzes me, doesn't do anything, and he goes for the Thunder, still doesn't do anything, doesn't paralyze, and I Moonblast and it kills it, so that's cool. And then he goes into this fucking Crobat again, and I go into Sly, and he goes for the Roost, and I believe, yeah, he goes for the Taunt as I go for the Spore, so that was really fucking stupid of me. And then I switch into Sly, and he goes for the Brave Bird, does a fuck ton of damage. Like, this is a defensive Slowbro, and he does a lot. And I go into Franklin, and he Brave Birds me, it does a fuck ton again. So I'm like, this is horse shit. So then he Brave Birds me again and kills me, and I'm in a pickle right here. So then I go into Sly, hoping to Scald it and burn it, but I go for the Protect, and he taunts me. And this is where the game just gets, like, amazing. And he Brave Birds me, does not kill. Go for the Scald, doesn't get the burn this turn, sucks. Go for the Protect, as he Roosts, which is even worse. So I'm chilling here, gonna get killed in a hit, and he goes for the Brave Bird. Almost kills Sly, but Sly's like, no, I'm not going to die today. And he goes for the Slack. I go for the Slack off. So then he taunts me, which is the worst part because I can't Slack off again. And then he Brave Birds me, which gets a fucking crit. And I'm like, what the hell? And I go for the Scald, does a lot, and don't even get the burn. So I'm like, what the hell? I don't get any, like, fucking help. So then he Brave Birds Sly, and I had to bring him in to just fodder because it wasn't safe. And then I go into Sly again. And he goes for the Roost as I go for the Scald, hoping to burn. And I get it! I burn it. Finally, your stupid-ass blue bat. So then, I go for the Protect, and he taunts me. Don't give a shit. So then, he's hurting, which is finally just a great thing. And he goes for the Roost as I Scald. And it's doing a decent amount of damage combined with burn. So I can two-shot him. And then he Roosts again, keeps spamming that bullshit, and I'm just going to keep Scalding him because he can't kill me. and anytime he doesn't use the Brave Bird or the Roost, I can just two-shot him. And then he goes for the taunt for some reason, and then cross poisons, because I guess, I don't know, he ran out of Brave Birds or some shit. But I guess maybe he was hoping for poison. And then he sends in this stupid Flygon, and U-turn does a lot of damage, and he goes into that, and I scald it, and it doesn't die. This is horse shit. And then I lose my taunt, and he goes for a substitute for some fucking reason, and I kill it. So that's cool. Down to the damn end, and he goes into this thing. Go for the protect, because I know the Leech Seed's coming, and it doesn't happen. So then he goes for the Shadow Claw again, for some fucking reason. Go for the Toxic, thank God it hits. And then I go for he goes for the Shadow Claw, and I go for the Slack Off, which is cool. So at this point, I'm like, he can stay in as long as he wants, but he's going to die eventually. And he Leech Seeds me. And then I scald him, hoping to do damage. And it doesn't do anything. It does like 20%. And he's getting Leech Seeds, so I'm at the end of the day, I'm not getting any damage on him. And he Shadow Claws me, but I protect. And I get my leftovers, and he gets the Leech Seed, which is annoying. And then he goes for the Shadow Claw again. He gets another crit, and then I go for the Slack Off, which is cool. And I am almost at full health. And then I'm at 69%. Ha 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 ha. 69. And he goes in that Flygon. And I get a protect. I go to protect, which sucks because I wasted that turn. And then I switch to get my regenerator, and I go into Sly. He goes for the U-turn, doesn't do jack shit. And then I do a dirt play, and I go for the Sludge Bomb as he goes for the Earthquake, forgetting it's bulletproof, and I'm like, that's fucking awful. So then he gets hurt, and I go into Sly again. And he goes for the Synthesis, and I'm like, well, damn it, I can't do anything. He goes for the Leech Seed, and I go for the Slack Off. I'm at full health, which is awesome. And I don't have any Leech Seed on me. And then he tries to Leech Seed me as I protect. Nope. And that thing is, like, in the range of dying soon. So I go for the Scald. 21%. And then he gets hurt by Toxic. And if I didn't have Leech Seed on me, I would have killed it. And I go for the Scald again. Toxic does a lot of damage to it. And then he switches out. And I'm like, fuck. So then I go for the Scald. Don't burn the Flygon, which is horse shit. That would have been awesome. And he U-turns me. So then he goes back into his stupid thing. And I go for the Slack Off, where if I had gone for the Scald, I would have killed that motherfucker. And that would have been awesome. But he was for the Synthesis. And I go for the Scald again. So I'm at a point where his Toxic timer is reset, which is awful for me. And he Shadow Claws me. And I mean, it's basically the same thing over and over again until one of us has to fucking struggle. So that's the bad part. And he Leech Seeds. And then I go for the Protect to get health. And he Shadow Claws me. And then what happens? Shadow Claw again, and he gets another critical, and I'm like, what the fuck? He got like 18. He got a critical like 2 turns before this. It's like he's got like damn Razor Claw or whatever that thing is, and he forfeits. So that was really radical. This guy's name is The Game Dog, so I guess you should check out his channel or something. So thanks for watching, horse. Bye.